Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another amazing episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the Monarch of Mardi Gras, the Baroness of Bourbon Street. Whenever she's not co-hosting Ringside Society, she goes on crazy misadventures, such as dressing up as one of the Road Warriors and picking fights with random people, or dressing up as the big boss man and trying to lock people up, giving them hard time for petty crimes. And sometimes she even dresses up as Coco Beware and actually does her own rendition of Pile Driver, Louisiana's own Kathy Knight. In the second corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye spinach. He is the tranquil dart of Ringside Society, Delaware's greatest American hero. And whenever he goes to Taco Bell, he asks for a cheap burrito because he loves the combination of chicken and beef. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. And the last corner we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching, always on a flight. Catch him if you can. Fresh off a trip from Amsterdam, no cap, straight facts, the worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it's not about us. You see, we have a special guest tonight, a man who wears many hats. I like to say, hey, maybe he wears more hats than the store called Lids. He is a wrestler. He is a referee. He is a manager. And as of next month, you can call him the 1CW Hall of Famer. Everybody, welcome to the show, Craig Prendergast. How you doing tonight, sir?
Woo! I'm doing very well, thank you. Which Road Warrior does she impersonate? That's the question I had first of all. Animal or Hawk?
Both. I alternate days.
Okay, well, you know, because you got to get either the Mohawk or the reverse Mohawk, so it's like
right. It gets to be hard to manage.
Okay, well, I'm happy to be here, guys. Thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah, thank you for coming back, Craig. You know, Rob was mentioning like you were actually first off, congratulations on your 1CW Hall of Fame induction class of 2024.
Hasn't happened yet, but thanks in advance. So
yeah. Rob was like, you know, Craig's getting inducted into the 1CW Hall of Fame. So I'm like, so he's like, we should have him on. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. You know, that'd be pretty interesting. We've never had somebody who's actually been on our show mere weeks prior to them actually getting inducted to a Hall of Fame in pro wrestling. So I gotta ask you, man, how does it feel, man? Like, how does it feel like, you know, getting that, you know, after all these, you know, years of being a fan and getting into the business and pretty much, you know, doing all aspects of it, how does it feel to finally get that thank you for all that you've done with this Hall of Fame induction into 1CW?
It feels absolutely wonderful, and nothing at all beats the respect of my peers. And the fact that they respect me enough to put me in the 1CW Hall of Fame means the world to me. Sean Hardy and Sean Carson were good enough to welcome me back to 1CW with open arms. And I've just been having a blast doing everything there. I've been, you know, I started off as like the president, and then I was just working with the Sean Hardy's group, and then I kind of wound up with you know, Mark Harrow and his Horribles, and now that's kind of blown up. I mean, that's gone kablooey, so I don't know what I'm doing now, but whatever it is, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to my 1CW future.
Awesome. Well, I gotta say, I know it's going to be a great turnout. A lot of memories. You know, I went to that 1CW show back in what was it? I think it was March, WrestleMania week. That's what I know it as. And y'all definitely, you know, blew the roof off the house. I was very impressed by how y'all's show went.
They always have great crowds. They always have loud crowds, and they always boo the heck out of me. So that's appreciated.
So I gotta ask you. I just got a few questions before. Cause I know Kathy's chomping at the bit. Rob is definitely chomping at the bit because he was hella excited.
I see their bits chomping
back in here.
Yes,
but in regards to okay, you try to, you know, you pretty much, the crowd pretty much boos you. Who would you say are your inspirations when you go out there as a manager? um, when
Uh,
facing the crowd?
okay, well, I dress up like Jim Cornette. Well, no, not in this promotion. Other places I wear like a plaid jacket, but honestly, if I had to pick one guy, I'd say Jimmy Hart because there's actually a DVD out there about the managers in the WWE, and Jimmy Hart actually had a quote that stuck with me, and it's not so much. They may or may not remember the matches. I know they're going to remember moments, but Jimmy Hart was a guy who would never say no. He would do like anything they wanted him to, be hard and feathered, stripped down to his underwear, whatever. And they always remembered Jimmy Hart for that. So I just want to be remembered as a guy who did all kinds of stuff, that you never know what's going to happen to me, like at any show. And it's funny. It's becoming more and more like I love managing, but it turns out I show up and it's like, okay, you're in the ring tonight. I'm like, okay. But it's like I've always told, and Mark Harrow would appreciate this. I've always told Mark Harrow, I'm not a wrestler. I'm a manager. But he's like, you're a wrestler because I'm always in the ring and I'm, in wrestling matches. So I guess it means I'm a wrestler.
Awesome. Jimmy Hart, man, you mentioned Jimmy Hart. Every time I remember Jimmy Hart
Mhm,
and the craziness he would go through.
mhm.
The one thing I remember is Survivor Series 1987. I don't know if you've ever seen it or Kathy
That
or
was the
Roger have ever seen.
first Survivor, the first pay per view that I ever ordered. I think 87 Survivor Series. Yes, I remember that very well.
So you know exactly where I'm going to go. What I'm talking about now. So it's the almost end of the match. You have, I think it was the Glamour Girls and the Jumping Bomb Angels are the
Hmm.
last two of their respective teams. I think the last Glamour Girls in the ring. Jimmy Hart tries to he's on the apron. I believe it's the third rope, and he's trying to cause a distraction. I don't know if it was Itsumi Yamazaki or Norio Teteno who did it, but one of them drop kicked him, and he lands between the second and third rope, and he's all tangled up. And I was like, wow, I would never forget actually seeing that.
Hmm. Yeah, it's like you don't remember the specifics of the match, but you remember that one spot because Jimmy
Right.
Hart, he never said no at anything, and that's why he's remembered because he's still. I mean, obviously he's like 80 years old. He can't do what he used to, but back in the day, he would do like anything, just anything. That's why people remembered him, and that's why he was such a good manager because people remembered him and hated him and transferred the hatred they felt towards him, and they transfer that to anyone who's managing.
So, um, with in regards to Jimmy Hart, if he actually, if have you ever gotten to meet him in person, or have
Yes,
you
I
only been
have.
able to?
Yes, I have.
Wow. So, what was like your like? What was like? I mean, what was like your feeling when you actually got to meet this guy that actually inspired, or was an influence on you as a manager? What was your? Were you like all nervous, like wow, meeting a legend here? I don't know
Uh,
what's there. Or were you like, what, get it together, Craig. I gotta, this is a business. I can't freak out even though I want to freak out. Like what was your mindset upon meeting him?
I don't get nervous anymore because I've been doing this since 2011 is when I first started being a referee, and then I became a manager like a year later. So 12, 22. So it's been like 12 years. So people are people to me, and I don't get nervous anymore. I treat them with respect. Don't get me wrong, but I was nervous. I just said thank you for all that you do, and if you had to give me any advice, what would it be? And he was like, always come up with a catchphrase. So that way, if you stumble on the mic, you can just use that. Uh, and I remember his was, why don't you use something like, I'm Craig List, I'm always right, you're always wrong. And I've used that sometimes, but not all the time because I've never really had that much problems on the mic. I did it first when I first started. Now I just love being on the microphone, and it's just hard for me to get off the microphone. Actually, I love cutting promos.
Hey, that's why pro wrestling needs managers. I always tell people, in actuality, I think it's becoming a rediscovered art, because at one time I was like, man, managing, the art of managing is in professional wrestling. Well, with WWE and TNA, it's becoming a lost art, and people are becoming very unappreciative of it. And now I see like it seems to be picking back up with Paul Ellering being there. You have I guess Robert Stone for now, who's an online personality over in who's a wrestling personality over in NXT. You have people like Prince Nana and what was Stokely Hathaway? I'm drawing blanks. Stokely Hathaway and
And also
Mark Sterling.
the guy who manages the Lucha Brothers in AEW. I forget his name.
Is it Jose the Assist? Is that his name?
Jose some or other, because I know he started off as like as a ring announcer or a backstage interviewer or something like that. Now he's like he comes out with them, so I guess he's a manager.
Yeah. So you got guys like those that are actually bringing it back. And I tell people, and when they say, "Oh, this person, is bad on the mic," and I tell them, "Okay, well, just put a manager with them. That's all you have to do. If they're good in the ring, put a manager with them." But some fans I try to talk to, like they just don't get it. But trust me, that's why pro wrestling needs managers like you and so on to you know for the promos.
Yeah, if you got a wrestler who's talented and can't speak, that's what the manager's for. Or if you want to, you got a guy in there who's got like some heat but not a lot. Stick him with the manager, and the manager can just talk him up and just piss off the fans and make them hate you. And if they hate you, like I said, they transfer the hate from you over to your wrestler, over to your wrestler. At least that's what you hope for.
Awesome. All right, so I just got two more questions. Kind of like I said, I know Kathy's giving me that discerning look. She's probably going to put me in an armbar next time I'm in New Orleans.
I can
Or
try.
Rob, or if I go to Delaware, Rob's probably going to actually have a chicken chase me around the block somewhere.
No,
So
he's stealing my gimmick. Can't do that. Can't do that. It's already been done.
but my second to last question. So in regards to wrestlers now, I just mentioned that the wrestlers need managers. What 5 wrestlers in all of professional wrestling, whether it's AEW, WWE, TNA, GCW, if you want to throw them in there. I'm not going to say Ring of Honor because Ring of Honor is pretty much part of AEW. But which top 5 wrestlers would you feel could use the services of Craig Prendergast, one CW Hall of Famer?
You mean in the big leagues? Oh, geez. Put me on the spot here. Dominic Mysterio gets massive heat, but he can't like say anything just because he has too much heat, if there's such a thing. I mean, so he needs people to like speak for him, just because anytime he gets a mic, they boom out of the building, which is great. It's a great problem to have. So I'd love to manage Dominic Mysterio. Who the hell else? I guess I would say, Shinsuke Nakamura, because he is super talented. His English, I think his English is better than he lets on to be, because I've heard him on Chris Jericho's podcast and I heard his English perfectly. But anyone who's like has trouble speaking, that who's not like native English born, I'd love to manage them. Just anyone who has trouble speaking on the mic, I'd like to help him with that. So that's the only 2 I can think of off the top of my head. Just anyone who has trouble speak. Oh, I know Andrade. I'd like to speak for him because, again,
Okay.
super talented guy. His English is getting better, but I'm just thinking of guys not native born English speakers that need a mouthpiece. And I think I could be the mouthpiece for anyone who doesn't speak English as their native language.
Awesome. That's that's a pretty good list. So my last question. This is more of a kind of like word association. I haven't done this in ages. As a matter of fact, I think the last person I ever did this with, it was Evan, our good friend Evan Ginsberg. But I'm gonna give 5 managers,
Okay.
and I just want you to give your opinion of them.
Okay.
All right. So
one word or just sentence or
One,
what?
one word or opinion. It could be either one, either or. Um, so we already mentioned Jimmy Hart. We already talked about Jimmy Hart, so not gonna put him. So the first one is Bobby the Brain Heenan.
The best, bar none. He was just the best. He great on the stick, great on the comebacks. He always knew what to say, and he always got his guys over. So I got to interview him actually years ago before I started my in-ring career, and he was just nice as can be, and awesome guy. And it's a shame he's gone, but I really respect him.
Wow. Okay. Um, Sensational Sherry.
Oh, tremendous. She took bumps like crazy. She was great on the microphone. She got her guys over like crazy. And I know people would say, what about her fit, whatever. I think she looked good. She wore her dresses. She worked her ass off to get herself over and to get her guys over. And she was a credit to the business.
Okay. I'm gonna go all the way back with this one. The Great Wizard.
Andre Roth. Wow, that was before my time. I saw some of his interviews, and I know he contributed a lot to the business. So I can't really give my opinion of him because I haven't seen a lot of his work. I just know that he was really respected. So I give him his props for being one of the earliest managers who got over.
Awesome. Okay, we're gonna take it back. We got two more. We're gonna go modern day now. Prince Nana. I don't know if I'm doing the dance correct.
Yeah, I love the dance, and I love how he gets over and he gets Swerve Strickland over. Although I think they're gonna separate them if they haven't yet. But I love Prince Nana. He was good as a wrestler, but he's good. Honestly, Swerve Strickland doesn't need him to get over, but he is good as a manager. I just don't think Swerve Strickland needs him because he could speak for himself. But when you have two guys that can both talk, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Prince Nana makes it work.
And last one is a man who I've never talked about on this show. For those of y'all watching, this is the first time. Well, maybe I did talk about it, but very briefly. But we're going to talk about him. I'm going to actually mention him again if I already talked about him before. Oliver Humperdinck.
Wow. Manager Bam Bam Bigelow, he dressed fancy and he did, interviews, hyping the matches, whatever. But at ringside, honestly, he didn't do much. Especially when Bam Bam's the face. It's extremely difficult to be a face manager. So when Bam Bam was face, he was just kind of there. He tried. And I know he did more in World Class than he did in the WWE or WWF at the time. He just, I don't think he was a great manager. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I just mentioned it because I never really I know when people talk about managers, they talk about Jimmy Hart and Bobby the Brain Heenan. Some people mention Slick and Mr. Fuji and all that.
Arnett.
But I've never really heard a lot of people talk about Oliver Humperdinck. I know of him. I've seen him. I remember he actually had a brief stint with the Freebirds. He called himself Big Daddy Dink,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he was a bit more lively at that time. Yeah, Kathy. Yeah, that was actually his name, Big Daddy Dink. I know it's a funny. I actually laughed at it too when I first heard it. But yeah, that's yeah. I think he was a bit more lively back then. But I
He
will
never
say this though.
me. So I know he was there, but he just didn't
Yeah,
do it for me.
yeah. Um, but I just gotta say, man, once again, congratulations. Thanks for playing that game of I guess word association. And I'm gonna go ahead and talk and turn it over to Kathy. I know Kathy has a couple of questions for you. Kathy, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Her bit has been chomping for a while now, so
All right, thanks, Remy. So how's it going, Craig?
it's going pretty well. Thank you very much.
Awesome. So you were on during the pandemic. I wasn't here. I was probably at work or something, and we were on audio. Now we're on video. So a couple of things have changed. And what's going on since the pandemic? Since the last time you were on, besides your induction?
Well, since the pandemic, it's I've been more involved. I mean, thank God that wrestling started back up again. It was really hard watching it with just like an empty crowd. I've just tried to since the pandemic, I got back in shape because they closed all the gyms and couldn't go outside for a while, and it was just horrible. No one was running, and I was miserable. I know a lot of people were miserable, but I'm in a much better place now, as are a lot of people in the world. The pandemic was just worst time ever. But since then, I've been honing my ringside skills. I still referee, I still manage, and I'm getting more in-ring time. When I say I'm a wrestler, I should say I'm a wrestler in air quotes. I'm a wrestler, quote unquote. But I just get more time in the ring, which is fun. But mainly, I'm a manager, and I enjoy doing that a lot. I love riling up the fans. I love when the fans boo me. That's music to my ears. It means I'm doing my job right, and just the fact that I was surprised when Sean Hardy said, "Yeah, I'm going to put you in a Hall of Fame," because I've known him for years. I just was totally unexpected, and it's truly an honor. So I'm glad the pandemic is over with, and I've just used that time to just exercise and keep working my skills.
Awesome. You had said on that podcast that you were on our podcast before your first interview. You were turning 50 back then. How's life after 50?
I don't feel 50. I'm going to be 54 at the end of the year, and I always think, wow, how much longer can I do this? But I know there's some people that are older than me that are still in the ring. I won't name names, but if they can do it, then I can do it. And I'm just, I can't take the bumps that I used to. But then again, I started this when I was 40, so I'm surprised I'm still doing this. And I'm always going to have a bad back because of, you know, my job, and also because of wrestling or whatever. But that's a small price to pay. All the hard work, all the times I've got, bumped, bruised, injured, whatever, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. And if I had to do one thing over again, I'd start 10 or 20 years before I did. But
There you go.
it's all worth it. It's all worth it.
Yeah, DDP started late wrestling, and he had a pretty good career as a wrestler. So, I mean, you only as old as you feel. That's what they say. So,
He started at 35, so
yeah.
I started, but that's why I still go to the gym all the time. I could go. It's like, why people are like, I tell people my age. I'm like, I'm 50. I'm going to 54. I'm like, you're what? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be 54. It's like, I'm not trying to put myself over, but like, oh, I had no idea you look younger. I'm like, well, it's because I go to the gym all the time. My diet's horrible. So I full, I'll be totally honest. My diet is horrible, but I go to the gym 5 days a week, and I have to stay in shape if I want to be a good representative of pro wrestling, because I got to keep up with everyone. I got to keep up with the youngsters, and so I stay in shape. I go to the gym as much as I can, and I stay in shape as much as I can. And if it wasn't for wrestling, I wouldn't do that.
There you go. Yeah. Wrestling has saved a lot of people's lives, and, that's part of it. I guess you'll do like a lot of people, CM Punk and a couple other people said there's a term till the wheels fall off. I guess, are you going to do it till the wheels fall off?
Yes, I will, and I can pretty much say what happens because I know this has happened all the time, especially with Terry Funk. The wheels will fall off. Okay, I'm retired. I put the wheels back on. I'm back in the ring. The wheels fall off again. I'm saying I'm retired. I get back in the ring. Another wheel falls off. And, I keep doing it until basically all the wheels have gone through a couple rotations, and I'll do it as long as I can. And I'm going to do it as long as I should not be able to, because I know of a couple of people off the top of my head that have said, oh, they're retired, they're not doing this anymore, or I'm sorry, on hiatus. But they've come back because it's in their blood, and it's in my blood too. And when my body finally can't take it anymore, I still want to be involved in the business in some way, shape, or form. Although I've always said I won't do this, I won't do that. I never said I always say I'm not going to be a wrestler. You can never get me in the ring, and I'm doing the wrestling now too. I love managing. I love doing that. I'm pretty sure I can referee for a couple more decades, hopefully, because the Hebners did it for a while. All you gotta do, you don't even have to like bend down all the way, as long as you can count to 3. So I'll be able to do that. Managing, I can just walk around ringside and yell. So I'm going to do it as long as I can. But like you said, until the wheels fall off, until my legs give out, until I can't walk anymore, until my back hurts too much. Even then, I'll probably push through the pain as much as I can because I love this so much. It's truly my passion, and it's next to my wife, it's my most favorite thing in life.
Oh.
I had to
Yeah, yeah, you got to win some points with the wifey, right?
She's not listening. I'm saying this just because she lets me. I know this sounds like weird. She let. There's not too many people you can say, okay, honey, I'm going to Houston, Delaware. It's 3 hours away. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what time I'll get back. So I'll see you at like 2 a.m. when I get back. She's like, okay, see you. Take care. So she lets me do that. So I know she's concerned about me. So, but she has no problem with me doing what I do. So I have to thank her for that.
Yeah, that's like me. I go to the other Houston. Y'all say Houston, but it's Houston in Texas. I drive the 4 hours to Houston for wrestling shows, and I'm like, Mom, I'm going to the show. She's like, okay, we do a little ritual with holy water and stuff, make sure I have a good trip and everything like that. And yeah, so she doesn't care. She's like, just come back, come back in one piece.
Did you say holy water? Did I miss
Yeah. We do a holy water thing. Yeah, to make sure, because, it's a 4-hour drive. You got to be, blessed and everything. There's crazy people out there.
There's crazy people in wrestling too. I mean,
That's true too.
There's no normal people in wrestling. If you're in wrestling, you're not normal. That's just all there is to it. If you start off normal, you will be crazy.
That's true too. See, that's where the holy water comes in. Got to bless myself from the people and the drivers and the wrestlers, and because I go by myself, so
do I.
Yeah, so gotta watch out for crazy people in general and in wrestling.
Yeah, my biggest fear was and still is like falling asleep behind the wheel, because I know a couple of people that happened to, and it's never a good outcome. So I drink lots of coffee.
Yeah, I guess people have called me crazy because I don't do I don't drink any caffeine. I just go and come back the 4 hour, like in one night, go the 4 hours, drive it back, come back at like 2, 3 in the morning. Good to go.
And don't forget going to work the next day.
Yeah, well, sometimes. Other times I'll take the day off.
Yeah,
vacation time.
For quite a while, I didn't have that option. I used to go to shows on Saturdays. I would always take Saturdays off to make sure that I was at the show on time. I didn't want to be off Sunday and just come, because I've tried coming down from work on Saturday, as soon as I was done, but I was never sure what time I'd be done or what area I'd be coming from, whatever. So I just take Saturday off, so I'll make sure I'm there and just pay the price working all day on Sunday and just, collapse after work on Sunday.
Oof, the things we do for wrestling, huh? But like you said, it's in our blood, so I mean,
all worth it.
Yeah.
Hey, it's all worth it.
It's all worth it in the end. So you, like Remy said, you wear a lot of hats. You've been front row at ECW. You would take pictures. You've wrestled. You refereed.
I have an album that's like this thick, full of ECW pictures.
Wow. Yeah. You've refereed. You managed. You were the president of DCW, or you might still be. I don't know how that is.
Oh, I was, but I'm not anymore.
Okay. So you've had many hats, but you never really talked about photography besides, the ECW. You said you have this many, that many pictures. What got you into photography in the first place?
I just like taking pictures. That was my job for I had a full-time job as a photographer for 28 years, and I just like taking pictures, and I figured, hey, I like going to wrestling. I like taking pictures, so I always give credit to Bay Ragney and his promotion at the time, Liberty All-Star Wrestling. He was the first one to ever let me shoot ringside.
Chubby Dudley.
Yeah, Chubby Dudley. Yeah, he's actually doing a TWA reunion show in May, I believe. So, did she plug for him? But he let me shoot ringside, and I always like getting those action shots. And I know the wrestlers especially love getting pictures of themselves. And that was when you had to use film. And it's like, oh, I got the great shot. Oh wait, I got to reload. Time out. don't jump off the top rope yet. I got to switch the camera and reload the film. That was always fun. And film was expensive. Now it's like, oh, I took a picture, don't like it, erase, take it again, you know. But you do that for a while, it just gets, it was fun for a while, but I was like, I want more. I got bored, you know. I wanted to do more. So
Yeah, I took the first Raw show I went to was in 2000, and I had a camera with the film. So I'm like, I hope these came out because you never know until you get it developed. It's not like the cameras today or your phones today.
Yeah, unless you have like a really powerful lens, if you're not sitting front row, you're not going to get good shots. Speaking from personal experience, I sat front row at a Raw and got great shots that served me well. I even got some shots, like I said, when I did photography early on. Pro Wrestling Illustrated printed some of my pictures. There's a magazine called New Wave Wrestling printed a lot more of my pictures, and that's when I did the interviews and stuff for them and articles and stuff. So I did a lot of stuff before I got in the ring. But I'm much. It's like I kept getting closer and closer, shooting pictures, refereeing, you know, manager. Now I wrestle sometimes. It's like that's it. It's like I'm in the ring now. I prefer managing, but it's like I keep finding myself in the ring. So it's like you can't get any closer than this. I kept getting closer and closer and closer and closer. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is the coolest thing I've ever done. And I kept saying that, and I kept doing like cooler and cooler stuff. And I'm like, wow, you know, I actually have like a man cave of all the guys. What I do is I get the figures of the guys that I refereed or managed or whatever, worked with. You know, just stuff that has meaning for me. And sometimes just go sit there and just look at the stuff. And I'm like, damn, I did all this.
I kind of have that too in my room. It's full of figures. I have, talk about the Road Warriors. I did get to meet Animal. That was after Hawk passed away. He was there for WrestleMania 34, 2018. And I was the first one there that day. And I was like, man, I wish Hawk was here. He's like, yeah, me too. He signed my figure. It's on the wall. So
yeah, I got really lucky. Back in, I think it was 2003, a year before he passed, there was a promotion that I forget. I think it might have been Herb Abrams. I don't know. Someone was starting a promotion up, and they brought in all these guys. And I just heard about how they were having a quote unquote press conference. And I just said, okay, I work for this magazine, New Wave Wrestling. I was allowed to come down. I interviewed the Road Warriors, and it saw print, and I was just like floating on air like the rest of the day. It was just, so I got to interview them, and they were both nice guys. And I'm sorry they're both gone because they were a tremendous tag team. They were awesome. I know there was a lot of heat about, oh, they didn't sell for anyone, but that was their gimmick. They get in there and they just destroy everyone. That was their thing.
Yep, they just smash mouth wrestling. They smash through everybody. Yep, they're the reason I got into wrestling. I was like 4 or 5 years old, somewhere around there. My dad wouldn't let us watch anything else. It was on WCW, where it was like the NWA WCW, like that. They're kind of like almost a merger back in the 80s. And the first, you said, it's not about matches, it's about moments. I was probably 5 or 6 years old whenever it happened. Road Warrior Animal unscrewed his spike and stuck it in Dusty Rhodes' eye, and I was like, oh my god, like a little kid freaking out. So but somehow they became my favorite tag team. So, and then that's what got me into wrestling.
They showed that on TV at the time too, and that's also
they did.
That's also what got Dusty kicked out of WCW. They said no blood. He's like, he got blood. He's gone.
Yeah, and I think I heard a rumor that was why when the Road Warriors went to WWF, E at the F at the time, E now, I think they didn't wear real spikes on when they moved to WWF. I don't know. I heard that before. I don't know if it was true, but like the red that they had, the shoulder pads and stuff like that, I don't think the spikes were real back then, but they were in WCW.
Oh yeah. And well, they made it look more colorful to get over with the kids.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I was gonna. I heard you in another podcast. That's why I wore the shirt. You interviewed. Not only did you interview the Road Warriors, but Stan Hansen and Mae Young as well. And you mentioned Bobby Heenan too. So what was that like? And I think you said in the other podcast you weren't supposed to interview them, but all those people, but you interviewed them anyway. So that's pretty awesome.
Stan Hansen was funny because at the show that I interviewed the Road Warriors for, I saw Stan Hansen. I was like, oh my God. I was like, Stan, come here. And I just, because I was like, I didn't care. I was like, come here. And he was, he was he looked like an old man with glasses. But I was like, oh my God, Stan Hansen, come here. I went, can I interview you? He's like, yeah, okay. So, and I went over and I interviewed him, and yeah, they printed that too. So I was like, I just interviewed Stan Hansen and he didn't kill me. This is great. Yeah, that show, I got the Road Warriors from that. I got Stan Hansen. It was just, I got lucky. A lot of the interviewing was just being in the right space, right place at the right time,
That's pretty awesome.
Mhm.
So, a little tidbit I found on your Facebook page, which we talked about. You sat in the front row at ECW shows. The Mr. McMahon documentary on Netflix actually has a picture of you in the documentary. I think was that Steve Austin during his match?
Yeah,
I think so, huh? Yeah.
It's okay, Remy. You smell fine. No, I'm a huge mark for myself, and I looked at the documentary. I'm like, there I am, front row. So I paused it, and I kept taking a picture of the screen until I got it right. And I'm like, yeah, there I am. And I also saw my friend's fiance, now wife, sitting 2 seats down. My friend was sitting next to me, but he wasn't in the shot, so I just thought it was funny. But yeah, I was there for every ECW show possible. That's what really nourished my love for pro wrestling, is because I sat front row at every ECW show, and I got to see so many people that, I mean, I saw Terry Funk, the wild man and crazy version of him, and now I mean, when he was doing moonsaults, now he was my age now doing moonsaults, and I middle aged and crazy. So I got to see so many people, the debut of like Rey Mysterio and Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero, that if you weren't there for Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero's last match ever, their 2 out of 3 falls match in ECW, I can't describe the emotion in the arena. I mean, if you were there, but grown men were weeping that they had to leave, and there was a "please don't go" chant, which I haven't heard before or since. I've heard, fight forever and whatever, but that was the only time I've heard "please don't go." The whole arena was chanting "please don't go" for Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko, and it was just such a moment. It was beautiful. It was art. And I admit I was crying too, and I got to hug Eddie Guerrero as he left, and it was just a wonderful match. And that is the best match I've ever seen live, and that definitely made me fall in love with pro wrestling. I was like, I want to be part of the magic. If I had to say anything, I want to be part of the magic, and I am, and I'm truly blessed that I'm part of this magic and can do what I do.
Yeah, being in Louisiana, that's the only thing that kind of sucks, because like you got to see ECW, Rob got to see ECW when he was younger. I think I was about 15, 16 at its height. Unless I had like the local channels, like local channels, like there was a Baton Rouge Fox channel, I think it aired on or something late at night. I didn't get to watch it. So in high school, in English class, I had a friend sit next to me, and he's like, "This is what happened on ECW yesterday." So that's how I got it until they got their like TNN deal, but it wasn't the same when they got to that. So
that was basically the end of the TNN deal. Killed them.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on the WWE's version. That was not. They just wanted to kill it. I mean, because it got over so well in those the one night stands and like that. They just wanted to kill it and make sure that it didn't get over. So that's why they did the WWECW. They just buried it, and that really, really, really pissed me off. That was not ECW.
Right. Anything Vince didn't make himself, he kind of poo-pooed on it. So yeah. So back to that picture, you actually had a beard back then. So kind of going off topic, because I'm not a guy, I don't have a beard, but I kind of tend to see this, and I don't know if it's true with you. Maybe you can shed some light on it. When guys are younger, they wear a beard because they want to look older, and then it seems because you're clean shaven now, and you're a little bit older, you want to look younger. So is that true? Any truth to that?
Interesting story about how I got the beard is I got the chicken pox when I was in college. And, they say, don't scratch your face or whatever. So I didn't shave for like, a couple of weeks because I didn't want to mess up, because with the chicken pox and whatever. And I was like, not bad. So I kept it. And basically that was my, can I curse on this podcast?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
That was my, I didn't give a shit about like anything phase. So I was like, had the beard. I was like a lot heavier. I was like 220 at my heaviest. And I just did not care. I had a big scruffy beard. I couldn't get the mustache to connect. I look British. You know how the mustache connects to the beard? I could never get that. So it was like really annoying. Basically I got chickenpox in college. I didn't shave. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep the beard because I don't care. I'll just like trim it. I don't feel like shaving every day. So it was just laziness on my part. And then I had an ex-girlfriend who wanted me to shave the beard, who said I would look better. And of course, she was right. And she was right about a lot of things I didn't know back then. This is way before my wife, so I'm in the clear. But yeah, she was right. She helped me dress better and helped me look better. And I did look better clean shaven. So because I had like a baby face and I did want to look. There's some truth to what you said. I did want to look a little younger. I thought I looked good with the beard. I did not. I look much better clean shaven with closely cropped hair.
So is it safe to say the beard is not coming back anytime soon?
Never.
Okay.
Back, nor is the weight, if I have my say. I like being slim, trim, 180, 175, whatever. And, just working out and trying to look good for the wife and whoever wants. And so I look good in the ring. I actually want to represent pro wrestling well. That's why I want to look professional and I don't want to look like a disgusting, whatever, because that's not my gimmick. I'm clean cut, clean shaven, and, I can wear obnoxious clothes. That's one thing, but I want to look as best I can.
Fair enough. So you're no stranger to you're going to be inducted November 9th at 1CW in their Hall of Fame, but you're no stranger to Hall of Fames. You're actually in the DCW Hall of Fame in 2022.
Yes, I am.
So what are you looking forward to? Since you kind of have one behind your belt, what are you looking forward to on November 9th?
Just giving thanks to everyone that helped me get to where I am, and hopefully seeing some people I haven't seen in a while, because there's also going to be some other people at the Hall of Fame, and maybe some people will come down just to see the Hall of Fame, and maybe I might maybe hear a cheer or two, which it would be like, that would blow my mind. I'm not used to being cheered at all. So if they give me like, applause, it's like, you're in the Hall of Fame, yay, that would be, mind blowing for me. And I just want to give thanks, and I'm being inducted with Mark Harrow and Sonny Deeds, and those were two guys. Mark Harrow's my trainer. He trained, and he's the head trainer for one CW and for the Workhorse Academy, which is the training school for. I won't say it's a training school for like 1CW, but Workhorse Academy trains a lot of guys, and a lot of guys are wind up working at 1CW. And I cannot think of a better trainer than Mark Harrow. And he trained me. He trained Sonny Deeds. He trained so many people. And just the fact that me, Mark Harrow, and Sonny Deeds are all going to be inducted, because Sonny Deeds was in the same class that I was when I was training with Mark Harrow. So the fact that Sonny Deeds and Mark Harrow and me will all be inducted at the same time is like full circle.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, Rob talks about Workhorse, and I'm sure he'll talk about that in his part of the interview. So yeah, that's pretty cool. We get to know through Rob, we know like all the 1CW stuff and the little ins and outs and stuff. So
I feel bad. Rob's been like waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's been like 45 minutes, and yeah, he just pouted.
No, you're good to go, man. I enjoy this, man. I enjoy listening to the stories and all. You're good to go, man.
Okay. I don't want to neglect you, Rob.
Yeah, he's gonna get it. We all take turns. Like we just go. It's first Remy, then me, and then Rob. So, but he'll be able to talk to you in a second once I wrap this up.
Everyone can have their turn. There's lots of me to go around. So.
Yep, there you go. See. So another Remy mentioned managers. He left one out, and it's a big one, and it's tied into you. with ECW, and
Paul Heyman.
somebody else. Yes, somebody else that took pictures and was a manager and had a promotion. So you have a lot of parallels to Paul. How you feel about that?
It's funny because we were both raised Jewish and both photographers and managers, but he started his own promotion, and I keep saying I'm never going to do this, I'm never going to do that. I pretty much feel safe in saying I will never start my own promotion because I don't need the headache, I don't need the stress, I don't need the agita, and I don't feel like losing money and having people yell at me when things don't go their way. So I will never start my own promotion if I have my own way. I told my wife if I ever talk about starting my own promotion, just smack me hard, because I do not ever want to run a promotion. I would help with a promotion, behind the scenes stuff, but run my own promotion, never. But Paul Heyman was a great manager, and because of him, I would, if I saw him today, I would shake his hand and say thank you so much for for fanning the flames of my love for wrestling because of what you did in ECW. And he's the one that I want to thank the most because I got to see him live so many times. I know he's not, the nicest guy and whatever, but in terms of his talent, he was great. He was the next version. He was the modern day version of Jim Cornette. I say
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's a genius, wrestling genius, and yeah, that's about the only thing you don't have in common with him because he's a Hall of Famer and you're about to be too again.
Oh,
So
and I've hair, so
yeah, that's true. He's
and,
getting bald.
and I'm still in relatively good shape. So
Yeah, that's true. I do miss his ponytail. That was iconic.
yeah, but I guess you figured, well, I'm losing the rest of my hair, I might as well just lose the ponytail. He's like, he's got a little something, but that's you keep saying, and I know you guys keep saying you wear a lot of hats. That's why I don't wear hats, because I have the thing. I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard like a rumor that if you wear a hat, it just like suffocates the hair follicles and doesn't let them breathe and may lead to baldness. I'm sorry, nope, Rob, it's okay. I'm not trying to make you paranoid, but that's why I don't wear hats. I just don't like hats.
Yeah, I think I heard that too somewhere along the line.
Mhm.
But yeah, Paul could have kept the ponytail. He could rotate his crowd. Just keep it back there.
Yeah, ponytail, rat tail, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, but I liked it.
Yeah, it was pretty iconic. I kind of almost cried when he cut it. I was like, no, because I grew up watching Paul, in WCW with the Dangerous Alliance when he was Paul E. Dangerously. Not a lot of people know that unless they watch, back in the day or were watching back in the day.
I loved him in the Dangerous Line. So
Me too.
I don't know if Remy wants to stay or go. He keeps disappearing. So I don't feel so bad now because I had problems getting on, and he keeps like he's there, then he's not, then he's there, then he's not. So
Yeah, I was kind of getting frozen over here, so I had to just reset and everything.
it's not anything I said, is it? It's not me. I didn't insult you or anything, did I? No?
It's never you. Don't worry about it.
I can insult him if you want. Then it'll go away. No.
We could probably all roast him if we wanted to, but I don't think we should do that.
No, I won't do that.
All right, so I got 2 more questions before I turn it over to Rob. The
He's
next
chomping
question.
at the bit there, I can tell.
Yeah, he's still chomping at the bit since when I was.
Okay, go ahead.
Your favorite moments of your career?
Oh God, there's been so many. When Jim Neidhart threw me across the ring when I was reffing him, when Tommy Dreamer bumped me when I reffed the match with him, when I managed Just Incredible, when I won the U.S. title in UWC, I actually won a title. When I won the tag titles in 1CW, when I was wearing the donkey suit and did the big reveal as like the next member of the Horribles. When I actually the last show, I actually took a flying elbow and a body splash. Although, full disclosure, I bitched the clothesline. I messed that up. The Hobo Harry was clothesline me, and I messed that up. So I didn't take that as well as I should have. But I'm having a blast. And soon, one of my next coolest things will be being inducted into the 1CW Hall of Fame. So being inducted into the DCW Hall of Fame was also cool. There's just a lot of stuff, a lot of fun stuff.
So my last question would be kind of the reverse of the other one. What do you still want to do in wrestling that you haven't done or that you would like to do again? Like what's left for you in wrestling since you've done pretty much everything?
Well, you know what I've been thinking about. Like I said, I've mentioned, I'm like wrestling a little bit. I'm not to say my wrestling is horrible is kind, because my wrestling is like beyond horrible. But that's kind of my gimmick, because I'm a manager. I should know how to wrestle, but I'd like to be in the PWI 500. I want to be number 500 in the PWI 500. That's a goal I'm setting for myself. So that next year, when they ask for submissions, I'm going to submit my name. So if I can get some more ring time, even if it's like I lose all the time, I don't care. But I'd love to get in the PWI 500 as number 500.
That's awesome.
If Dustin Wilson can do it, then I can do it.
There you go. Well, good luck. Well, I shouldn't say good luck. What do you say when, congratulations, I guess. Everybody else said congratulations, but congratulations in your upcoming induction.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Hope you have a lot of fun with your speech and everything, and probably not as much fun as Paul Heyman did in his speech, but I don't know if you can do the same thing he did, but
I'm not. I
you
guess
can't top him, I don't think.
Would I have to put on a different shirt or something if I'm like, if I want to be like him? I don't think I would do that. That'd be too messy. No.
Yeah. So congratulations once again, and hope to see you where. Hope you do get that 500. PWI 500 at 500. I'll be looking forward to that, and we'll turn it over to Rob.
Okay. And we're done.
All right,
Bye, Rob.
all right. Sweet, thanks, Kathy. So, man, what's going on, Craig? Man, I'm glad we got you on, man. I'm happy to see you on, man.
Well, thank
Awesome
you
to
for
have
inviting me, Rob. This is all Rob's idea, by the way. So I give him full credit for having me on. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate the
There
invite.
you go. Hey, hey, it's all about me. It's all about me. I mean, I'm like you. I'm a major mark for myself. Let's go.
As
get the little queen wave.
Let me see if I can do this. I'm on my phone, so I have to. There.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the royal wave. That's right. So you were talking, yeah, like you were talking about, man. Training by Mark Harrow and stuff, and I fall under that tree too. You know what I mean? I was actually trained by Carlson, but then Mark, I'm under his tutelage. Went under his tutelage and stuff too. So he also trained me and stuff.
The thing with Mark Harrow, he trained Sonny Deeds, and Sonny Deeds like may have trained Sean Carlson, and Sean Carlson trains you. So it's all connected. Like I see influences, especially when we're doing like setup and breakdown. When I hear Sean, okay, we gotta do this, I'm like, this sounds like Mark. Yeah, I hear echoes of Mark and whatever he does. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mark's a great dude, man. He's like one of the best trainers and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I've heard stories like people were like, "Oh, I'm afraid of him." Like, really? Mark is like the greatest. Like, he will never put you in a position that you will hurt yourself or any of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? He's the greatest. I can't say anything more positive about it.
No, I trust that guy with like anything. If he says do something, I'll do it, because I trust him completely.
Yeah, I've been trained. I've trained a workhorse, and I've actually done matches with him and stuff. He was like, "Yeah, I need you to come up and do a head scissors and stuff." I'm like, "What? Yeah, what? Okay, yeah, all right, let's go." I go up and do it. He's like, "All right, I did it." I mean, Martin, he's the man.
Yeah, it's
I
like
mean, he's not going to ask me to do like the Ty Awesome, like a like a 450 or a shooting star press or anything.
Yeah. I'm not going to say that I can never do that, because if Mark said, "Dude, just do it, it'd be fine," I'll probably be like, "No, okay."
Let me give it one shot. I'll try it once.
Do anything once, and then when my neck is messed up, I'll be like, "Yeah, I tried." Okay.
There you go.
But if anyone
now actually,
Mark,
oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say, if anyone could convince me to do something, it would be Mark.
That's right. Now, when I was training and stuff, man, Carson and all, they told me, he was like, and Hardy and all, they're like, "Man, we want you to be like a utility man. Like, we might need you to rep for 6 months. Then after that, we might need you to ring announce. Then we might need you to do like backstage. Then we might need you to do like camera work, like da da da." So I remember looking at him, I was like, "So you basically want me to be Craig?" And they're like, "Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, be Craig." I was like, "All right." You know what I mean? Yeah, I started at a late age. I was 38 when I started all that stuff too. You know what I mean? I'm 42 now. Like, yeah, I started late too. So yeah, man, we got the parallel going.
Wow, be like Craig. That's don't be totally like me, because I've screwed up.
Well,
don't screw up.
Well, wearing the all hats, so they can put me anywhere, and I'll do well. Like you, man. We can throw you a commentary anywhere. And you got it. We ain't got to worry about you.
Oh yeah, that's another thing I like to do. I've done a little bit of commentary here and there. I like to do more of that too. Getting back to Kathy's question, so I like to do. That's probably something I could do once my body is like done. I'd like to do that.
Yeah, commentary. I'm not sure if I could do it. I'm like afraid. Like if they ever ask me, like, man, we need you to fill in or something, I'll probably be like real nervous. That's the one thing I'll be like, oh, I don't know if I could do it. Like, they probably kick me out. Be like, all right, a couple matches, you're good. We got the idea. You can go back, doing whatever.
I mean, how bad could you be? I mean, if they don't like it,
That's true.
ask for pointers, or if you don't
Yeah,
know,
there you go.
you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I could do that. You know what I mean? Yeah, repetition. I could get better. Keep doing it. I'll get better. Get better. You know what I mean?
Now you can attest to this with me, Rob. You know that wrestling pushes you beyond anything that you've ever done. He's like, oh, I can't do this.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, try it. I did it. I can't believe it.
Mhm.
Wrestling
Oh
pushes
yeah.
beyond what you think you're capable of.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. That's true. That's true. Plus, when I did wrestling, I got into the best shape I ever had in my adult life. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I've never been in that good a shape in my life. I was like, yeah, it's done a lot. You know, what I mean, wrestling's awesome. I love it. I love every aspect. I love going there doing the, setup. I don't mind doing the cleanup or whatever. You know what I mean? I'll go in there. I've done bathrooms and all that stuff. I swept floors and I don't care. You know what I mean? Yeah, I got this. It's fine. Like you said, if I've seen Jimmy Hart cleaning bathrooms before and stuff, pictures of him. If he can do it, you know what I mean? Who am I? You know what I mean? I can do that too. You know what I mean? So
Setup and breakdown is a necessary part of paying your dues, and that never ends.
yeah,
Who's that guy in WWE? They called him Lil Nate, the referee. I forget his name. Charles Robinson.
Yeah.
Charles,
yeah.
he is in charge of setup and breakdown. At least he was up until recent. I don't know if he's still doing that. And he
I think so.
for decades, and he still does setup and breakdown. So if he can do that, we can do that.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that, man. I don't mind all that. So I do got to ask, you know what I mean? You used to work at Hardy and stuff in JWs. Now I used to live like in Dover, like 10 minutes away from JWs, and I used to go there for the wrestling shows. I remember they used to have the wrestling pay-per-views there and stuff. So we crossed paths, but never met each other, because I was always scared to talk to anybody there, wrestling stuff. Because I don't want to be like, they cut a promo on me, and there I am, like, oh damn, and everybody laughing, like, yeah, look good, all right. But how did you end up meeting Hardy and JWs and stuff? Getting there to JWs and photograph stuff and all
With
that.
he was involved with DCW like early in the beginning, and honestly, I was taking pictures at Combat Zone Wrestling, and one of the guys there was the Hellware Assassin, and he's the one who told me about DCW and kind of got me involved with that. So Hellware Assassin brought me into DCW to start taking pictures, and so that's how I got started, because the Hellware Assassin recommended DCW to me.
Now, how did you end up starting to train and stuff? Because, like you said, you were there, like I was at JWs. I was in my early 20s, late teens, going there and all. And, you're doing like pictures and stuff. But, like you said, about 2010, 2011, 12 or whatever, that's when you started training and doing your thing. So, what led you to that? You know what I mean? Whether you're like, you know what, let me just go do this or whatever. Did somebody talk to you, or were you like, Mark, you know what I mean? You got a spot open or something, like that, or whatever?
Combination of things. I was bored taking pictures. I wanted to do more. And I remember there was this one guy they brought in to DCW, and I saw him ref. I'm like, this guy is horrible. This is the worst. And I'm like, I could do better than that. And I'm like, yeah, I could do better than that. Damn it, I will do better than that. So I approached Zach about doing more. Zach Connor, who's booker at DCW, and he came up with this idea of like being a photographer. I was shooting ringside, the ref gets bumped, and Zach's like, "Come on, we need a ref. Come on." I'm like, yeah, come on, get in. So I put on the sweaty ref shirt and ref the last like 2 minutes of the match, and that's how I got started refereeing, which I don't think it's ever been done before. So I thought it was a cool angle.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, I wanted to. Let's see, I was 40 years old. I was going through a divorce, and so call it a midlife crisis, if you will. But I was like stressed out beyond belief, because divorce is never good, no matter if it's no contest divorce or whatever. And I started losing weight because I wasn't eating, because I was like stressed out. And I'm like, I'm losing weight. Let's build on this. So I started going to the gym and just doing like 30 minutes on the treadmill. And I just built it up more and more. And I got like a whole routine that I do when I'm in the gym now. an hour on the elliptical, a little bit of light weights, a little bit of sit-ups, push-ups, squats, planking. So a bunch of stuff I do just so I stay in shape, because like I said, my diet is horrible, but I want to stay in the best shape that I can. I know if I ate better, I'd be in like even better shape, but I believe in being honest. Full disclosure, my diet is horrible. I try to stay off some, fatty things, but I could be doing like a lot better. But I just wanted to do more. I got tired of I got tired of taking pictures, and I wanted to do more. I wanted to get closer. I wanted to be part of that magic, and just being a referee. I thought, that was the coolest thing ever. And you know how cool reffing is. It's extremely cool. You're in there. Basically, you have the authority. You're like the authority figure. You get to yell at the people and tell them what to do. It's like,
You're like the narrator of the story. They're telling the story. You're the narrator.
exactly. That's very well put. You're like the third person in the ring. Exactly. You're in charge. You're the authority, and you have to make sure that not see things. I mean, a bad ref can really screw up the greatest match ever, and a good ref can make a horrible match the best thing you've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's really important to know your stuff. And by the way, you do know your stuff. I vouch for you. You're a damn good ref.
A little bit. That's for that Mark Harrow training. I mean, I tried to do my best.
That's why you're a good ref. Or trained you. So
Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, I always enjoy reffing matches that you're managing in, man, because you always keep my head on the swivel. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I mean, I got to keep my eyes on the guys and stuff, and then I got to hear you over there like, what are you doing, man? That was a 2 count. What? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, oh my god! And you're like, Craig, shut up, jeez. It's awesome. I love it.
This gives my, when I'm managing, that gives me my chance to yell at people. So I get all my negative emotions out. I mean, like, hate the fans, hate you, hate this, ref, you suck, blah blah blah. I get to yell and yell and yell, and it's great. Although, Sundays I'm like, next day I'm like, how you doing? I was yelling a bit too much. So
That's right.
I blow my voice out, it's worth it.
That's right. Yeah, no, yeah, I like, after show days and stuff, man. I don't know about you, but I always get that second win, what I mean? I'm like kind of tired, but then I get home, it's like, all right, I'm good. I'm up for a while now. You know what I mean? Do you get that too?
Well, when I get
Well, you got a long drive though, so.
I got like a 3-hour drive, so I try to stay awake as much as possible. If I fall asleep, it's on the straightaways. No, I'm just kidding. I don't fall asleep. But no, when I get home, it's like I try to, I just take a hot shower to kind of relax me, get all the sweat and whatever off of me, and then I just kind of slowly. It takes me a while to come down from my high, because it's like, when you're at the show and you nail, and you know the feeling when you've nailed all your stuff, you're like, yeah, I did it. Yeah. Then you come home, you're driving home, you're in a good mood. Yeah. Yeah. And you're like all hot, that's the best high ever. Because I still ref in some places, and when you nail all your stuff, it's like there's no greater feeling. It's like, I did it, yeah, and you're in a good mood, listen to all your tunes, jamming out, whatever. Then you get home and you're just like, okay, I stopped moving, and the adrenaline wears off, and just slowly it just kind of
Yeah,
you just pass out.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like that too, man. Yeah. But I get that second win, so I'm up for a bit. You know what I mean? Yeah, sometimes, man, like I remember one time, the first time somebody was like, "Can you sign this poster for me?" or whatever. That had me like, I was like, "Oh wow, really?" You know what I mean? First, I'm like, "Really, man? My signature will bring the price of that paper down." I always say that, but yeah, I remember that feeling after that show. I was like, for like days, I was like, "Yeah, people want my autograph." You know what I mean? Like, it's awesome.
It's the coolest thing in the world when someone asks you for your autograph. It's like there's nothing. It really. They're like, "Oh, you want me? You want my autograph? Who am I?" But it's like,
That's right.
It just makes you feel good. It's like, oh, you're doing your job. You're doing a good job. And the refs are underappreciated, quite frankly. And speaking as someone has been a ref and is still a ref from time to time, yeah, refs are underappreciated. And if you have a good ref, it makes a match. So I appreciate your refereeing.
Thank you. I try. Now, I don't know if you've ever ref, like a kids camp or something, but one workhorse, we had like little kids camp or whatever over the summer. They come in, learn a little bit of stuff. I got to ref that. You know, what I mean, they got me refing that show, and I want to tell you that was probably one of the most funnest, experience I had. Refing a bunch of little kids. You know, what I mean, it was like you ever watch those videos of t-ball players? You know, what I mean, how chaotic a t-ball game is and all that. Oh, it was just like that. Oh, it was great. It's like you got these. All right. Oh man, the chaos is just it was so awesome, man. I can't.
I've never roughed a kids camp, but I can imagine that's got to be a lot of fun. So I'm sure it was fun. I've done like student shows, spot shows, whatever, and people are just coming in, they're just looking and stuff like that. So that's fun. You just get your not your diehard fan that comes to all the shows. Just like if you're like at
Yeah.
a picnic or not a picnic, like a festival or something like that, and like, oh, what's this? And they come over and you hope that they're interested and want to come to the house shows.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I like doing those shows too, man. Like we do the Felton, do the little day thing in the middle of the street and all that kind of stuff. Man, I love doing all those shows.
Hmm.
Now, you got the long drive home and stuff, and you've traveled all around and stuff, man. So, do you have any like funny travel stories you can share with us? Like maybe you've run into like the Jersey Devil, or maybe you've seen a Bigfoot or something on the way home or something. You know what I mean? Anything crazy or pretty standard stuff?
Honestly, no, I haven't had any crazy stories. I've been very lucky, knock on wood, in terms of my driving safety. I know that the odds are going to catch up to me sooner or later, so I got to be prepared. I've never, uh, once I got into like a fender bender on the way home from a show, but it wasn't like that big a deal. I was still able to drive the car home. But that's why I have to stay awake, and I try to keep my car in the best shape I possibly can. So, you know, so that I'm ready for like anything. I always try to leave early so I can get like, setups at like, for example, at noon at one
Mhm.
CW. I try to get there, 11:30. So in case there's I try to leave early so I get there early in case there's any traffic or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I try to be careful when I drive now. I'm not as reckless as I used to be in my like when I was much younger. I remember okay, here's one. One time I think it was a blizzard of 96, I think it was. Me and my friend Mark drove to the ECW arena. The roads were like plowed or whatever, but it's like they were like stay home, stay home. It was like they shoveled all the roads. Still went to see the ECW show, and they didn't cancel the show. There was a blizzard, didn't cancel the
Yeah.
show. And I'm glad I went because I think it was the Tasmaniacs versus the Malenkos in a double tables match, and it was great. But
Mm,
I would never ever drive like in a blizzard. If there's like even like a couple inches of snow, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm not gonna go.
that's right.
Now, if I'm booked and there's like it's gonna snow, I probably still go, just because I'm that. I don't I have to make my bookings. If I say I'm going to be there, I'm
Yeah.
going to be there.
Yeah.
Uh, but if there's like a blizzard, I'm less likely to go to a show. I'll say that. Rain
There
doesn't
you go.
bother me. If it's raining, big deal. I got all-wheel drive. I'm okay now.
That's right. That's right. Now, I do got to ask, before I pass it on, back to Remy and stuff, man, my last question, I got to ask, are there any new movies or TV shows that you've seen so far? Because I'm always trying to find something new. Because as I get older, I find, I watch the same stuff like comfort shows, you know what I mean? Like, I've been going back watching Sanford and Son and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Married with Children, you know what I mean? So I'm always trying to find something new.
Okay, well, Netflix. I basically go watch Netflix and Amazon Prime and Paramount, HBO Max. Just any movies that are on there. Like they did the Crisis. They remade Crisis on Infinite Earths, and finally they have all three parts available on HBO Max. I just watched part three today. They changed it totally from the
Okay.
comic. I didn't like it that much. But in terms of
Mm.
TV shows, there's one I'm watching right now with my wife, and I hate to admit that I like this, but I do. It's called The Lincoln Lawyer.
Oh, I've seen that on Netflix. I haven't watched it, but I've seen it advertised, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I know what
Yeah,
you're
it's
talking about.
it's better than I thought it'd be. Usually I don't like these kind of shows, but she's like, watch one, watch one. I'm like, okay. And it's not bad. So the Lincoln Lawyer is what I'm watching now. I like shows about like UFOs and unexplained phenomena and stuff like that. Uh, Obviously my wrestling, because there's pretty much freaking day there's wrestling, and I still don't watch every single show. I mean, I just watch AEW on Wednesday nights, and I'm actually, I should say, I don't even watch wrestling at nights anymore because I have a hard time staying up because it's like I'm
Yeah.
getting older, and I'm like, I'll be watching it and I'll be like, fall asleep at like 9 o'clock or 9:30. So I just like watch it like in the morning or afternoon when I'm like wide awake. So I just like tape it and just to tape it. I DVR it. That's how old I am. I tape it. I DVR it and I just watch it the next day. But in terms of new shows, Vox Machina is a good series. It's about like basically fantasy adventure on Amazon Prime. I like that. The Boys, it's great. It's like they take the superhero genre and they just what if superheroes were dicks basically.
Yeah.
Uh, what else do I like? All the Marvel shows like Agatha all along. I'm watching that now. I love all the Star Wars stuff that they're playing on Disney Plus. Like if you haven't watched The Mandalorian, you're missing out. You really need to see The Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's a good show. I like it.
Oh, okay. So you saw the big reveal at the end of season 2. I'm not going to give it away to anyone who hasn't seen it.
There you go.
But yeah, oh yeah. I just saw your Mandalorian poster there. Yeah, that's it's great, and it just fills in the gaps. And I loved The Mandalorian. I loved Ahsoka, all the Star Wars shows that they were doing. I even like the one that they had for that the Acolyte. They should have gone more because I think they were like introducing Darth Plagueis. They were doing something with that, but they just stopped it, canceled it. That was it. But yeah, I like all the Star Wars shows, Lincoln Lawyer. So the Marvel shows on Disney. Just get Disney Plus. Watch all the stuff on
That's
Disney.
right. That's right. Yeah, I've been watching Agatha all along, and today the new episode dropped. I hadn't seen the new episode or whatever,
Well,
so yeah, I
yeah,
gotta
they
watch
drop
check
at
that
like
one out.
6 o'clock. See, I hate when they do that. So they say that, oh yeah, new episodes every Thursday, but it's like Thursday at like 6 o'clock. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'll just watch it the next day.
yeah,
But
yeah. I remember, yeah, something on Netflix. I think they did it with Stranger Things. They're like, yeah, it comes out on Friday, but it was like
at
two
9
thirty
o'clock.
a.m. Like,
Yeah, at
there's
9 o'clock.
something, you're like, okay, yeah.
I
Oh my lord.
love Stranger Things. My wife and I both love it. Yeah, it just I can't wait for like the final season.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah, I'm excited too, man. I want to see where to go with it. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like, wow, man, I literally watched these kids grow up. You know what I mean? Like, they were like 13. Now I think they're like, some of them were getting married and all that stuff
yeah.
now. So, yeah.
When they went to the arcade and like one of the episodes, I'm like, I was that age at that time in like the 80s. I'm like, that's me. I was there. And I'm like, they're playing Mr. Do. I remember that game. I played that. I would drive my
That's
bike to
right.
the arcade and play the video games just like they did. So there's just no monsters. But that's the only difference.
Yeah,
No monsters, So
there you go. There you go. There's no monsters. That's right. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I like all the Star Wars, Marvel stuff too, man. I'm with you on that, man. Like, I'm G Wiz Rob, you know what I mean? So I even watched like She-Hulk and stuff, and I was like, it was like, it was all right, you know,
Hulk was awesome.
it was fine, like,
She-Hulk was
whatever.
awesome. My
Yeah,
wife does not watch superhero shows with humor, but she loved She-Hulk. Anything that has a strong, powerful female lead, she likes. So
that's right.
anytime they
That's
do,
that's
Peggy Carter, she liked that. You know,
Oh, Agent Carter. Yeah, yeah,
Agent
yeah.
Carter.
That was
Yeah,
a good one. Yeah,
that's
that was a good one. Yeah, I liked her. Yeah. Now, yeah. Now, before I pass it on back to Remy, I want to say, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come chat with us. I had a blast. Oh, I gotta say, man, since we did the podcast, no bumps. I didn't take any bumps today. You know what I mean?
yeah. No
I know how
bullshit.
you are with me, man. But Rob, no bumps. So I ain't take no bumps.
Take no bumps. Is that what she said?
Yeah, no bumps.
Oh, no bumps. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
no
remember that.
bumps.
I'll be. I'll never bump you. I'll never bump you. I might shove you or something like that, but that's all it'll come to. If you take a
That's
bump,
right.
I
That's
would
right.
never. Yeah, don't ever take a bump.
Yeah, yeah, I got in trouble for that. You know, what I mean, I had to have the whole workhorse. Man, we had to do burpees. We had to do like 50 burpees. Oh, and after everyone, Mark had everyone go say "F you, Rob."
Yeah,
I was like,
I,
ah,
I've done my share of burpees, so I know what
yeah,
they're like. Flashbacks. Oof.
yeah, yeah. I know, yeah, then Oh, yeah, but I don't mind. You know, what I mean, it's all good. You know,
Mhm.
but yeah, I want to say, thank you very much for coming on, man. I'm excited to see your 1CW Hall of Fame induction. I'm proud of you. Nobody deserves it more than you, man. You get to go in, like you said, Mark Haro. Sonny D's is there, man. He's a real good guy too. I think even Funky White Boy might make an appearance and stuff there too. You know what I mean? So we got stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the flyer. Funky White Boy, Hellaware Assassin will be there supposedly, and a couple
Yeah.
other people too. So
hmm Yeah, man. So yeah, it should be a fun night, man. I'm excited for you, man. Congratulations, man. You deserve all that stuff, man. You're a great guy backstage and all that stuff, man. You do everything, like you're awesome, man. So yeah, everything's well deserved, man. I hope everything good happens to you and your family, and everything you want to do in life, happens to you, and you get to do it, man.
Rob, thank you for those kind words. I appreciate it, and I wish the best for you and yours as well. And thank all of you guys for having me on the show. I had a blast.
Greg, thanks a lot for agreeing to be back on our show. Really, truly appreciate it. Um, Congratulations once again on getting accepted into the Hall of Fame. I know it's going to be a memorable event. Before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to find out my next appearances, purchase Craig Prendergast uh, merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
So this is time for the plugs. Okay, let's see. Let me go over all my plugs here. By the way, I'm not the only time you can find me is on Facebook under Craig Prendergast. I'm not a big social media guy. I do have a Twitter account, but I set it up for like an angle that I was doing in another promotion, so I never do anything with it. But let's see, coming up before the Hall of Fame, I got UWC coming up. That's United Wrestling Coalition, November 2nd. That's 2 Meadowbrook Lane, New Egypt, New Jersey. Bell time 7:00. I manage there. I manage Brilliant Bobby Banks and Iron Bull Argus there. And that's November 2nd. And the next week, November 9th, like you said, the 1CW Hall of Fame. And doors open at 5, bell time at 6. Get there early because they always have a big crowd. So get there as early as you can, get the best seats possible. Yeah, get to see me induct into the Hall of Fame and what other shenanigans I'll get into. I guess I'm not with the Horribles anymore. I don't know what I'll be doing because thanks to Sam Ayel, there are no more Horribles. So kind of owe him for that. Gotta do something about that. Also, Pro Wrestling R, I referee there. Their next show is Sunday, November 10th at 2 p.m. And their show is called Family Feud, so I'm refereeing for them. That bell time is at 2:00 for Pro Wrestling R. So those are my three plugs. And anything else comes up, I always post the shows that I'm working for on my Facebook page. And there's also there's Superpowers of Wrestling. I'm not working for them, but Johnny Cashmere runs it, and it's a good promotion, and you should check it out if you're in the area. I'm not working for this particular show, but I have worked for them in the past, and they're really well run, and I manage for them. I'm just not working the next show because it runs opposite UWC. So that's it. By the way, the worst thing I hate about wrestling is when you have to choose between dates. If you have two promotions you work for and they run on the same date, that is the thing I hate the worst.
Awesome. So y'all definitely make sure y'all follow this man, Hall of Famer, hardworking man in professional wrestling, wears many hats. Make sure you follow him. If you're in, town when 1CW is actually there, definitely make sure you check them out. Check out that Hall of Fame. I know it's definitely going to be a memorable occasion. I'm kind of jealous that Rob gets to check that out, but maybe one day I'll definitely make another 1CW show. And once again, thank you very much, Craig. And with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for dinner and a nap. Maybe not in that order, but before I partake in those activities, Kathy Knight, the money penny to my James Bond, the pepper pot to my Tony Stark, and the sensational Sherry to my Randy Savage. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, all things Becky Lynch, Soraya, and great Louisiana eating?
So you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and Discord, all at BLUE70517.
Awesome. Rob Bass, the Mel Gibson to my Johnny Glover, the Charlie Haas to my Shelton Benjamin, and the Bubba Ray to my Devon. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find out my next appearances, purchase Rob Bass merchandise, And where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
All right, you can find me on Facebook is Rob Base, and then Twitter, Instagram is Rob_Base82. And you can catch me 1CW. Our next show is November 9th. Yeah, it's our Hall of Fame show. Like our guest right here, Craig, he's going in the Hall of Fame. Among others, we also have the champion, Ranch Hand Carlson. You know, he's in the house defending the championship. Our new DSN champion, Jason Andrews, back from hiatus. You know what I mean? He came back with an awesome match against Miles Millennium. You know, he's probably definitely going to be in the house. We got a lot of matchups going on. If you need to catch up with 1CW or anything, go to DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com. You can check out each episode from episode 1 to what they got now. We got a YouTube page of 1CW, and if you got you want to do the app on the phone, Delmarva Sports Network, on the app. So there you go.
Awesome. Make sure you guys definitely check out 1CW. They're doing a lot of great things. Shout out to Sean Carson and Sean Hardy, doing a lot of great work down there with 1CW. And if you want to find me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool things, but I do go to a lot of cool places. I was just in Amsterdam the other day. You can definitely find me on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at @DRemyBlue. You can definitely follow me there on all my adventures. I'm also on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue as well. Our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group, and we're also on Spotify. Our Teespring store is actually back up. We have 2 designs up right now. We're going to put the rest on later. By the end of the year, everything should be up. So definitely check out our merch. We have T-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs. Definitely, cop some merch. All proceeds go back into keeping our show afloat. And last but not least, we have a YouTube channel where you can see great interviews like this one, like the ones we've had with Sean Hardy, Sean Carlson, many other great men and women in 1CW, many other great men and women all over the world of professional wrestling. You can find those interviews on YouTube. And to see them, it's not rocket science. It's not even calculus. Just go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society, and once you see that really good-looking dark blue and light blue yin-yang sign with the blue flames around it, Kathy, please stop touching the logo in that creepy way. You're going to scare our viewers. I'm just kidding. That's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos, because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. But with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. Thank you very much. We really and truly appreciate y'all checking us out. We strive on being one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to. And we're not going to stop being that. To those of you that are going to listen later on, we get a chance. Thank you very much in advance. And those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral, Kathy Knight at Cafe Dumont for the buy one, get one free special, and Rob Bass at a taco festival, we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And we ain't stopping. So with that being said, we just want to let everybody know we're very well. It's not a secret. Everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hashtag, we are not the same. So with that being said, hey, yo, Kathy Knight, Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for professional wrestler, manager, referee, and now soon to be 1CW Hall of Famer, Craig Prendergast.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
Woo! All right. 3, 2, 1.
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right. We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, and we'll be back later on this week. Actually, we'll be back later on this week with our Halloween Havoc predictions for NXT. That's shaping up to be a great card. But until then, we just have 4 favors for y'all. Just 4. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and enjoy wrestling. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.
Let the
See you
good times
guys.
roll, Louisiana. Bye.
Bye-bye.